Welcome back, it's Ryzen, and today I'm going to be talking about Tower of God yet again, and I'm going to be going over the special regulars that are in the series. A lot of people don't really know the term special regular, and that is because it is never really used in the actual webtoon, but it is used in SIU's blog posts, and I think it is a very interesting concept that just not a lot of people know, and I think that this video would be kind of useful for people to think about going forward, and especially since these special regulars are probably going to be taking the spotlight very soon. And before I get right into the discussion, if you enjoy anime and manga content, I have a ton on my channel already, so definitely be sure to check that out and subscribe. If you're into Tower of God in particular, I have a playlist in the description, and if at any point throughout this video you are enjoying, definitely be sure to leave a like, as it really does help with the channel. So yeah, let's get right into it. So to read SIU's blog post, he basically says that since now Bomb cannot fight normal regulars because he's just too powerful in season 3, we're going to be seeing more special regulars like Akryung or Ghost, Princesses, and Sorcerers. So this section of the post was actually created in response to the confusion of Ghost using the black hole sphere, which is a technique stated to be used basically only by regulars. And he basically said, you know, we don't know if Ghost is an irregular or not, that's to be seen later, but for now, you can just classify him as a special regular. And he also takes the liberty of placing princesses and sorcerers in this category as well. Since Ghost is neither a princess or a sorcerer, I think it's safe to say that he is not like just a category on his own and it's just like princesses, sorcerers, and just Ghost. There are others that fall into this category as well. I do not think that it is just like this broad category that like anybody can fall into just by being powerful. Just because you're from the 10 families and you have like really powerful techniques, it doesn't make you a special regular. I think being a special regular pretty much just means that you break the established rules of the tower. Now, I don't mean like breaking the rules as in like intentionally breaking them and, you know, with malicious intent. I just mean with your fighting style, with your abilities, with who you are, it does not reflect that of what is normal of the tower. An example of somebody who SIU doesn't specifically state to be a part of this group, but I think definitely fits in this, is Rak. Rak is somebody who is a descendant of the native ones, and he's able to use this weird rock ability thingy that nobody can really explain, so something like this would definitely put him in this category. Additionally, I believe Joaquin from the Hell Train arc would definitely fit in this category as well, and there's just a handful of regulars in this series that I could kind of go on forever naming that really would fit into this category. Now, I get that some people might feel weird about the descendants of the 10 family heads not being included in this because they do have a very abnormal power and very abnormal abilities, but just remember that the princesses of Jihad are included in this category, and they are fundamentally different from the descendants of the family heads because the princesses of Jihad actually inherited Jihad's blood like directly from him, amping their power to levels that should be impossible for who those people are, and so it definitely is a much greater abnormality than just being a really strong person who was just born like a normal person. But this does not mean that the current Kun cannot be classified as a special regular, because he has the fire fish, which literally allows him to res and amp people, so I would definitely classify that as something that is not natural, something that is very irregular-esque, and so I would classify both the current Kun and the current Rak as being special regulars. Another group known to be among these special regulars are again Sorcerers, which I think are just so cool and such a underrated part of Tower of God. I really do think that we need much more in-depth explanations on how sorcery works in the series. We need to see much more characters learning spells, man, because I don't know, maybe it's just the nerd in me, but I think that spells and magic, you know, in a traditional sense, are always really, really cool when they're introduced as sort of a side thing and not like a main focus of a specific power system. A great example of this is Bleach, having like a whole huge subsection of the power system being like these really cool spells with like Hado and Kido and whatnot, but they're just totally underexplored, and I really hope that Tower of God doesn't go this route. It actually currently is going that route, and I just want to see more sorceries. So the known sorcerers, there are literally only 3 that we know that exist. That is just horrible, but one of them is actually Arlene Grace, and she is stated to be a prodigy in spells mastery, and we know this because she even knows a spell to stop a dead body from decaying, which is just really cool again. And Arlene is such an important character in the series, and I really hope we do get like a more in-depth extended backstory on her and we're able to see her learning magic. I think this would be a really cool way to both explore spells and kind of deepen that part of the lore, as well as just learn more about Arlene, which literally everybody wants to learn more about her. Another one of the known sorcerers is actually one of Bomb's companions, and this is Sachi Faker, who again is a totally underutilized character. I think this guy pretty much like did nothing, and I would love to see more of him, and learning spells through him would honestly again be a great way to go. And the last sorcerer in Tower of God that we have met is Levy, and if that name doesn't sound familiar to you, don't be worried, you're not alone. I had no idea who this guy was either, but when I did a quick Google search, I found out that he's the guy with the question mark spell thingy that pretty much just suffocates and kills people, which is pretty cool, I guess. I actually thought this character was like really interesting and I wanted to learn much more about him, but you know, we obviously didn't get that. So I really hope that all three of these characters actually get expanded upon much more and we get to learn about magic through them. It is also worth noting that there are these people called the 4 elite sorcerers who ended up placing a spell on Doom's heart, which Bomb ended up absorbing, which is really interesting because this further increases the relationship with irregulars and magic manipulation and spells and all that. So I really do think that we are in for a lot. Like Arlene, who is an irregular, is pretty much the strongest sorcerer that we know, and then Bomb, her son, who is another irregular, is just like is able to literally negate every spell. Like his ability is pretty much to say no to spells, and mark my words, there is a definite strong correlation between irregulars and spell users. So now that we know who these special regulars are, we kind of have to now look at their purpose, because you know we already have this intricate system of regulars, rankers, high rankers, and then we even have rankings throughout the regular group going from E to A. So what is the purpose of having quote unquote special regulars? Well, SIU actually says this himself. He says that Bomb is too strong currently to be fighting against any normal regulars, but narratively, currently in the story, it is not the right time to have him defeat a ranker yet, because this was in only chapter 10 of season 3. So, you know, there really was no other solution than to bring out these special kind of enigmas within the story that we had seen before, such as the Mad Dog Varagarv, Ghost, and Levy. Now this still might not make sense to some people, but you really do have to remember that the gap in skill between even an A rank regular and a ranker is so incredibly large. Like Adori Jihad, who is, by the way, rank 7 in the tower, yeah, rank 7, she's above almost every single family head, and she was like so incredibly powerful that she was the only ever regular in the history of the entire tower to ever defeat a ranker, and she did it at A rank. And this was like an absolutely insane, unheard of feat that like literally shook the entire tower. Yes, an A rank regular defeating a ranker. So it's definitely not like some easy linear progression to where like, oh, the difference in skill between an E rank regular and a D rank regular is going to be the same as an A rank regular and a ranker. It's just not like that, you know? And Bomb at this point, even throughout season 2, has easily demonstrated that he's capable of handling A rank regulars like nothing, like no problem. And even in like the workshop battle arc, he was boxing with people that were the equivalent of B rank regulars. So it's like at this point the only way to continue to up the stakes without getting, you know, insane power cliffing or ruining the narrative that he has already established would be for SIU to introduce these special regulars, which I think is really cool. And it's kind of sad that nobody talks about them, and I guess now in the story they're irrelevant because we have Bomb pretty much boxing white and going crazy like that. You know, for this brief period in the story, it was a really cool time to see these 3 unique characters and how they kind of impacted the story. And I definitely do think that the idea of special regulars will persist as Bomb needs more and more of them to join his squad, because obviously his squad is not going to be composed entirely of rankers. He's still going to need some regulars, and for those regulars to be relevant, they're going to have something special up their sleeve, and they're going to have to be above A rank regular level. And you know, I think SIU is just doing a great job of it by introducing this whole concept of special regulars. Again, I already mentioned Kun and Rak, and how they pretty much become special regulars throughout the series, when they were just, you know, considered normal before and we didn't really know too much about who they were. And yeah, I just think it's great. I definitely hope to get Sachi back and, you know, get more explanation in his sorcery. I definitely hope to see more action from Ghost because he is so cool. He's honestly one of the coolest individual characters in the series, and he's so underexplored, but I just know it's for a good reason because we're going to get some insane lore on him. And yeah, that's kind of all for this video. I hopefully made it quick. I'm not too sure how long this video is going to be, but if you enjoyed, definitely be sure to subscribe. My goal is to hit 200 subscribers by the end of the year, so all contributions to that are very much appreciated. Please like the video because it really does help other people find the channel, and I appreciate you so much for making it to the end, and have a great day. See ya.